I had this product where I wanted to give the monsters a brain. We spent tons of money, tons of money developing this software to where it would go up in the cloud, but it wouldn't just be the knowledge like Alexa. That knowledge was there. But then you could change his voice, make it creepy. You could change his emotion. He has emotions. He could see you. He could hear you. And it was uncanny.
From northern Colorado, right there between the rolling plains and the Rocky Mountains, this is the Greeley Business Beat. Just your friendly, neighborly corner booth conversations with the incredible humans behind the businesses and local attractions that make Greeley, well, great. Join us as we dive into stories of the people and places that make up the very fabric of our community. Whether you're Greeley born and raised or just passing through, we promise to pull back the curtains on some of our favorite community gems and introduce you to the neighbors who make this place special.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Freeland, your host for the Greeley Business Beat, the show where we shine a spotlight on the people, places, and passions that make Greeley, Colorado a vibrant place to work, live, and play. Who's not a fan of reality TV? What about a reality show about making monsters? That's right, I'm talking about the reality show Making Monsters that aired on the Travel Channel. Right in Greeley, Colorado, you can have a behind-the-scenes tour of what it takes to make monsters. For nearly 50 years, Greeley has been home to one of the most legendary names in the world of monsters, masks, and movie magic. From custom props and animatronics seen at haunted houses and theme parks around the world to crafting the spooky decor for Dick Van Dyke's annual Halloween party. Distortions Unlimited has turned creativity and a love of the unusual into an art form. So today we're talking with Ed and Marsha Edmunds, the creative duo behind Distortions Unlimited, to hear how their passion for art, imagination, and a good scare helped put Greeley on the map in a very unexpected way. Welcome to Greeley Business Beat, Ed and Marsha.
Hello.
I am so happy to have you all here. We have crossed paths over the years, a little bit here and a little bit there. And so I'm always delighted to get a chance to talk to you about Distortions Unlimited. So thank you for being here today. I know a little bit of the story, but where did it come from? Did it just come from the ether? Did it rise from the cemetery?
Almost. To keep the story short, I was just a monster kid. I grew up in Long Grove, Illinois, and I loved monsters and outer limits and all that stuff. Moved to Greeley to go to college, and I was doing makeups and sculpting things and so forth. I went to a costume contest at UNC.
Okay.
And the first prize was a $300 stereo, and I won that stereo, And so I wore this Don Post mask and hands, and it was a werewolf, bloody werewolf. And so I lost to a Frankenstein. Now, there was a shop here in Greeley called the Party Palace.
Okay.
And so the Party Palace had hired me to take cheap masks and paint them. And I paint them with brushes. I was an art student. I didn't know any better. Paint them with brushes, and then they could sell them for more. This guy won. He was wearing a Frankenstein mask that I had painted. And it's just kind of like, okay, I'm going to make a mask for next year, that will win these kind of contests. And so I started on it right away in November, and I sculpted this alien mask. And since I knew the Party Palace, I went down to show them this mask, and they said, "Oh, could you make more for the store?" And that had never occurred to me. In fact, I got, way back when I was living in Pueblo, I got offered a scholarship to make monsters for art credit. And I turned the guy down. He was head of the art department. I turned him down because I thought I could never make a living doing this. I had no idea. I said the big machines or whatever. Well, anyway, so that started it here in Greeley. It started with the Foss buying my masks, and then it's like, ooh, I want to make a business out of this, and it just grew.
It just grew. Now, of course, our listeners can't see you, Ed, but I have to note that Ed is wearing a black T-shirt with, who's on the front, Ed?
Mr. Frankenstein.
It is Mr.
It's
Frankenstein.
the Frankenstein monster.
Yes,
But he
yes.
gets called Frankenstein. But Frankenstein's monster.
So just so you know, if I sound fearful, it is because Frankenstein is looking at me in a very nice way. But I have Ed and Marsha here with me to, make everything well and good. So you started at UNC, and it all came down to kind of a contest. Mm-hmm. So where do you come in, Marsha? Yeah.
So I was going to UNC, actually, getting my master's in biology, of all things.
Okay.
And I needed a part-time job. And so making monsters part-time and just grew from there.
So is this something that you were doing in the garage? I mean, that's where your business was?
It started in a 2-bedroom apartment and moved to a house. It had very humble beginnings.
What made you decide to kind of land here?
Yeah, I had never planned on staying in Greeley. I just came up to go to college. But it was funny. Greeley kept improving quickly over the years as I was in Greeley. And then we started the business. And so that kind of landlocked us to a certain degree. But then this is perfect for us. The cost of living and everything was good. And people have asked me through the years, why aren't you in Hollywood? Why aren't you in at least New York or something?
That's where I was going at is like, really, you truly could be anywhere.
That's right. But here's why Greeley works for us, or Colorado in general. It's centrally located.
It is.
And so if you're shipping product, now if you're making monsters for movies, yeah, you want to be in Hollywood or something. They're moving around nowadays. But anyway, so it was centrally located. It was a good lifestyle. Greeley's a really great place to live. So we just stayed, and I have no intention of ever moving. It was a slow process of deciding to not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. And our crew is here. I mean, our crew, our main crew has been with us for 25 years, maybe longer.
Oh,
maybe
Mike's been here 30.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
They're key. We couldn't move anyway.
Yeah. Now, so speaking, that's a great segue. You guys are good at this. So speaking of your team and your staff and the folks that you work with, where do they come from? You blew me away with the biology.
Oh,
okay. So I'm like, okay. But I mean, are they coming from UNC? Are they coming from elsewhere in the world? I mean, where are folks coming from?
Mike Glover, for instance, he was a farmer, and, the farming business can get rough and stuff. Anyway, he came in looking for a job, and man, we hired him, and he never looked back. And it was such a radically different lifestyle. But then on the other end of the spectrum, we have a guy that went to the Tom Savini school that he learned all this stuff, and he came with a lot of knowledge. But I think most of the people we've hired are local, and we just have trained them, and the ones that stuck just could put up with all the crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of crazy. There's a lot of crazy. Okay, we'll say that. Okay, so here's a question I've always wanted to ask. Where do you get your ideas for your creatures?
Ooh.
Because, I'll have to say, because sometimes you go into the stores and you're like, you kind of look at them and like, they all kind of look like they've always looked, There's nothing different. I've seen your stuff. I know it's unique. I know it's different. And I know there's a lot of heart that is behind them. And sometimes I look at them and I go, okay, where in the world did this come from?
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff. We actually are coming up on that period of time where we're developing stuff, and Marsha and I were working on it Saturday. But we'll use the whole crew. We get the whole crew to throw out ideas, and we'll think about it. And it's surprisingly hard to come up with the next thing. And sometimes it's been an accident. We had an event called the Dark Museum in Greeley, and it had a bunch of our props and things. And we thought, well, it needs a grand finale. So I don't know who. I think I came up with the idea of a guy in an electric chair.
Right.
And we made this thing. Nobody had ever seen anything like. We didn't do it to sell it, but it's like, well, we got this thing. Let's take it to the show. It's the most expensive thing the haunt industry's ever seen, but maybe we'll sell 6.
Yeah.
We took it to the show, sold over 200 the first year. So that was it wasn't us being smart or anything. It was just a crazy idea that swept through, changed our whole industry. That product has been identified as the number one thing that changed the industry. Now it's the number one thing is computers because of internet things. It's dropping down the list, but it was so bizarre. Nobody had ever seen animatronics up to that point were friendly, at theme parks and things.
Of course.
And this thing thrashed and screamed and smoked.
Yeah.
It was highly inappropriate, but it was, it changed the industry and us.
So, people oftentimes think, oh, it's just us.
Yeah.
Coming up with stuff.
You're kind of the face.
Like we have this crazy stuff going on in our minds and all this.
Yes.
And we do. Some of the new product is just super original to one of us or whatnot. But I think the majority is highly influenced by not only our team, but other people in the industry.
So you all are a unique business. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you would agree with that.
Yeah.
But you are in downtown Greeley.
Yeah.
And you're part of that culture and that family and the neighborhood, if you will. How does Distortions Unlimited fit in? I mean, y'all are pretty nice, but it is different, right? And
Yeah.
but I also know that you all are very active in supporting downtown and other businesses. And so tell me a little bit more about that relationship.
Particularly where we're at, along the tracks there. That's amazing that we ended up there, actually, because that's a whole art strip right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There's artists in there, there's dancing, there's musicians. And so it's really cool because we're right in the art scene. And then the new,
The Creative District. The
Yeah.
Creative
So
District is moving
amazing.
their offices in there. Yeah, which I was very excited about.
and it's just right a block
yes,
from us.
That's right.
So it's just a little group of artsy things going on by the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think mostly our relationship with Greeley really grew when we started Monster Day.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Before that, we were just shipping, out of state mostly. Nobody knew us.
Mm.
They didn't know we were even there. But yeah, once Monster Day started going, that was great because then we connected much better.
Sure.
And that's been great because a lot of the people that were involved with changing Greeley, we've gotten to know. But there's so much art that's being infused into Greeley that seemed to start with the Union Colony Civic Center, which for me was the shift. That's when Greeley started to, I don't know, get proud of itself or something. And it's like that really started the shift all those years ago. And then it's gotten better and better. And even though I'm in the art business, I've been surprised how much art helps a city.
Yeah. Well, and you're a part of that. Surprise.
Yay. I'm
Yes.
happy. In fact, Ed Rogers came through with his high school class one time and to tour Distortions. And I said something like, I don't know if you'd consider what we do art, but we kind of think of it that way. And Ed interrupts me and goes, yes, you're absolutely art. And it was kind of nice because, a lot of people don't consider rubber Halloween masks art, but
Some of us do, Ed.
yeah.
Yes. And it's okay because it is art.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I consider it art and it's sculpture to me, or at least the things that I've seen that you've created. I'm like you, Ed, in that I have seen that growth on the art side of it. So I'm so glad that you're a part of it, both of you. And you're always so welcoming and open to that. Greeley's grown a lot and has shifted and changed. So there's that art side of it. From a business side of things, how's that impacted you all? Or has it been more of a kind of a slow and gradual?
All of our business for a long, long time was out of state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it has to be. I mean,
It's
we're selling to
international
Germany and
and-
England and crazy places you would never dream would buy this stuff. But it takes that because we are still kind of niche. We're kind of an odd sort of a business. And locally, we don't do a lot. I mean, sometimes we do, and people is like, oh, can I just come and pick it up? Sure. They'll order online.
Right.
But yeah, Monster Day's the thing that really got us connected to the community, and that's been wonderful.
We tried a while back, many years ago, we tried a retail store briefly,
Oh,
and we just were too busy.
I was like, that's a whole nother.
We are too busy.
Okay, so tell me when your busy season is, or is it always busy?
It's always busy, but it's busy only because people are panicking. Probably August, September.
Oh, they're just asking in August.
July, August are our
sure.
biggest production months.
Yeah.
And then September, October, if we had bunches of inventory.
We could make a fortune.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
It's like,
we actually have to
yes.
shut down orders as we approach the holiday. But then,
Wow.
like, we're going into the creative season, but we'll still be doing lots and lots of orders. And those orders will just assault us all year. It's just that as you get closer to Halloween, people need it.
Yes.
They don't have to have it in January, but
Right.
they have to have it if it's getting close to October.
That's right. Okay, you just said something that I'm like, I kept repeating it in my head because I'm like, I'm going to ask him about this. Creative season?
Yeah.
What's that?
that's now.
It's
That's now.
It started.
This is when those meetings and the
we
juices
start the
start flowing.
meetings
Okay.
and we start thinking about it, what type of products, price range, and trying to come up with that magic stuff that people just have to have. And that is for us as creatives, that's the most challenging. Figuring out how to do it can be tough. Figuring out what that thing is that we're going to bring to life, that's the tough part.
Well,
Yeah.
and, we're thinking about it year round, but when we're so busy with production, we kind of just shove it to the back And now that we're finally kind of caught up, we can really focus on it more.
Because I think sometimes when people see very creative things, it's like, oh, it just boom, and you can think of it anytime you want, but that doesn't necessarily work that way.
You can think with all your might and for weeks and come up with nothing. And then you'll just be watching a play or something, a high school play, and something will happen to, ooh, wouldn't that be cool? You know,
that would be the perfect scary monster.
Yeah. Saturday I went through a volley of, even though we've had this concept for a while, we found a new way of making monsters spit at you.
Oh,
and this is very effective because, you're walking by and some creatures, doing something, and then they just, and they spit.
Right.
And we were thinking old man with drool and stuff. The reason it's kind of come to my forefront is because we discovered that windshield wiper pumps shoot a great stream. It's not too much. It's not like a super soaker, but it will shoot a stream that will go a long way and hit somebody and impact them. So it's interactive. So to have a monster grumble and mumble and say things and then spit at you, so that you're like, he got me.
And what was that? Was it real? And which direction did it come from?
When you get all this, horrible brown drool, it looks like chew or something coming from this crotchety old guy rocking in a chair. And then he makes this chew sound or something. And then you get hit by something for a second. You're like, ooh, did he just spit, skull on me or something? What is this,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's terrifying.
Actually, that stuff scares me more than the monsters. The gross stuff gets me.
So if I'm thinking about starting my own business, I feel like you all kind of eased into it and Greeley just kind of took you in and embraced you and you were able to move into that. I just feel like things in the business world, and maybe I'm way off, just seem like they move so quickly. And so if I'm looking at, let's say, starting a business now in Greeley, what advice would you give?
The team you put around you is like super important. Seek help. Greeley has a lot of aid that they provide, advice, help in all kinds of ways. We've been helped so much over the last 45 years, and I would say just persistence also, any business is up and down. So expect that, I would say. Expect that. Be persistent, but adjust.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been a roller coaster ride. In fact, the guy we were selling to Morris Costumes, Phil Morris, he's passed on now, but he was talking about, well, I'm worried about you guys, blah, 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 if you're going to make it. And I go, Phil, according to some people, we've been going out of business for 20 years.
Sure,
but we're just too stupid to stop. We just keep going. So that word persistence, I know it's on a lot of cornball business posters and things, but actually that is an incredible word because if you don't stop, they can't stop you. It's amazing what you can do in life.
However, persistence with innovation,
Right. You were talking about like the electric chair. That was some new innovation.
Yeah.
And you were talking about using the windshield wiper. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, but I get it. Tell me how innovation, like technology and stuff have changed what you do. And
first off, China changed a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the mask business, which we started with, we had to move out of that.
We couldn't continue.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we do collector masks now, but we don't do retail masks because you can't compete with China on that.
No, they do so well for so little.
Yeah.
So we had to change and we went into props, then we went into, like life-size alien, predator and stuff, and then we had to go to animatronics. And now the technology... I'll just tell this one quick story to tell you the crazy world we live in. We had done, one of our TV shows was with one of the top guys at Microsoft. And I had this product where I wanted to give the monsters a brain. And he's like, it's not time yet. He called us up 2 years ago, I think. And he said, now's the time.
And
so we he made the software. We spent tons of money. I mean, tons of money developing this software to where it would go up in the cloud, but it wouldn't just be like the knowledge like Alexa.
Right.
That knowledge was there. But then you could change his voice, make it creepy. You could change his emotion. He has emotions. He could see you. He could hear you. And it was uncanny. You'd walk up to this thing. We called him Dr. Quantum. It was a giant brain. The brain was like 3 feet. It was a big brain.
Yeah.
And we were at the show and he was doing his thing. And I said, Todd, this brain isn't big enough, is it? And he said, no, the brain would be bigger than this convention center.
Right.
And it's a huge convention center. This thing would, not only did we give the monster a brain, but it was an incredible thing. And I think we've completely abandoned that now because it was too much. And all these people were afraid of AI and stuff. And I'm like, come on, guys, it's ones and zeros. It's just and Todd said that. I said, Todd, it's not. It's just ones and zeros, right? He said, yeah, that's right. I'm not so sure about that anymore. So we stuck our toe in that and it was, I think, too far. And I think we're back to, let's keep the monsters dumb. We can make them seem smart, but let's keep them dumb. And we try all sorts of things. We tried all sorts of things over the year, and most of them don't work, but every once in a while you get a good one.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. If your business had a blooper reel, I have a feeling there's maybe a couple of these. I don't know why. What moment would be the highlight for you?
Oh, wow. So many.
I know. That's what
I know the one that comes to mind
the
because
one that
of the
comes
pain.
to my mind.
The pain?
The pain.
It's probably
of it.
the same one, right?
It's the beast.
Oh, yeah. That was horrible.
Okay. If we did a Distortions blooper reel,
Yes.
it would go on as long as the company. I mean,
Yes. Of course.
We make far more mistakes than successful
and some
things.
are hilarious when you look back. I mean, it's painful.
Oh,
at
no,
the
it
time.
wasn't funny at the time.
No.
So I came up with this idea. Went to a trade show and we saw this inflatable company and they had a dome-shaped thing. And Marsha was sleeping on the way back. And so I'm drawing. I'm thinking, wait a minute, this could be something. And so I thought I could take and make a bunch of these dome things. And then we could sculpt feet and a face. And we could make this giant beast that you could walk through. So we found a company that was probably the best in the world. And we went out and flew out. We sculpted this thing. It was 155 feet long, 2 stories high, and it was 40 feet wide. And you walked in the mouth and you go through the lungs, you went through the heart, the intestines, and you kind of got sent out the end with a Bronx cheer and, some smoke and stuff.
Sure.
I had scaffolding and I sculpted this clay. The head alone was 16 feet or something. And we bought tons of clay. And when I say tons, I mean literal tons of clay.
Have to be.
And put this stuff on. I sculpted this face. And so the day came, we had the molds made in fiberglass. Tens of thousands of dollars were spent in many hours. And I put the face on and it was all Velcroed and everything. It collapsed, the face.
The latex was too heavy.
I was going to say, too heavy.
So I found the nearest bucket and I sat down on it and just hung my head because it was a total fail.
Yeah.
But when I caught my breath and I stood back, it's like it didn't need that latex and it was easier and better and cheaper. And so it worked out fine. And that product did very well over the years. And, like I say, we're always trying to come up with some crazy thing. And that was one of the craziest.
We're right back to the art again.
know.
There's so many ups and downs, but that's also business, right?
Yeah.
It's ups and downs, and you just kind of ebb and flow with it and go, all right, that didn't work. Yeah. Grab the bucket. And what's the next?
Hang your head.
That's right. What's the next thing I'm going to do? So where do you see your business in 5 years?
I found if you can do it, being artistic and simple, if you can create something simply, then it's less likely to break down because these things are mechanical and they're air pistons and things running them and control systems. And if they're too complicated and they break in the field, which unlike, say, Abraham Lincoln at Disney World, that's incredible. But he's not shaking and spitting and losing his mind. He's moving very slow and he's got a lot going on in there. And so ultimately, the electric chair became a single piston in his stomach and his legs fly up and he crunches down and he can shake like crazy, but it's just a gigantic metal hinge and a cylinder and it just crunches him and you can move him like crazy. He doesn't break or not often. Taking that artistic thing and being able to make it strong enough to withstand it and coming up with a simple system, even though technically it's pretty sophisticated. We try to make Hollywood quality stuff that's really looks like it just walked off a movie set.
So I'm sitting here obviously listening to you both, and we hear Hollywood quality, but then we also talked about kind of competition with products from China, and there's a ton of it and you can buy it anywhere and it costs this, and then going into something that's more of an art form, as well as it being something that's maybe more unique. Do you see that as a deterrent?
I will say, man, they're stepping up the game.
Oh, man.
The stuff you see out in yards, that's Lowe's, that's Home Depot.
Yeah.
Those guys are stepping up their game.
I think they're just emulating you or trying to.
All competition is good. And I will say, I cannot discount what China is doing for the money. It's worth every penny and it's beautiful. Now, it won't last like ours.
Right.
And it doesn't look like it came off a movie set, but they're just two different things. They're same holiday, two different approaches.
Yeah. We're so happy that you decided to stick around in Greeley in the middle of the planet. And we're glad that you continue to make some scary things out there and some things that surprise us. So, Ed and Marsha, thank you so much for being on the Greeley Business Beat.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Like what you're hearing on the Greeley Business Beat? Do us a favor and share this episode. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and be sure to leave a review. We'll be rounding up businesses and attractions each month, so sit back, tune in, and we'll be dishing up the stories that make Greeley great. The Greeley Business Beat is a production of the City of Greeley in collaboration with 1K Creative. Greeley is one of the few spots in Colorado that combines the best of everything the state has to offer. Beautiful vistas, deep agricultural roots, easy access to the outdoors, and a vibrant and friendly community. Learn more at visitgreeley.com. And until next time, stay connected to the heart of Greeley.